Good morning. Today is the 15th. It is Thursday. I have not traded Tuesday or Wednesday. I just haven't been around in the morning to look at RTH. But I haven't tried to force it. I'll take a look at the news for the last couple of days, though. Nothing crazy. You have the, was it Assumption Day? Assumption Day. Past 8:30. And I think we moved pretty, you can see we moved up a lot. Show you one other look at that. 21 bars straight up on the Renko. On the larger Renko too. Probably this had a big impact. $7K swing from the last one, so 234 to 227. Retail sales being up is always positive. And then import prices not moving too much is a good thing. And then let's see where this member is speaking at the Regional Economic Development Update. So we're not going to worry about that too much. There's some 9:15 news. Interested in this one. Another economic data event. It's a late news. Let's see what's happening tomorrow. Trade balance in the morning. That'll be interesting to see. Building permits at 8:30. This at 10. So these are some news tomorrow. And what is Assumption Day? That marks the occasion of the Virgin Mary's bodily ascent to heaven at the end of her life. There's a long-standing tradition of blessing the summer harvest. Kind of cool. Interesting. Let's go back to today. We have bank holiday in France and Italy. It is important. That will impact the market most likely. Let's see what's been happening this week. We had way down and way back up. Gosh, man. So we're close to 161.8 from this big swing there. You take it to the broader swing, you know. Just eyeballing it, that looks like it could be the right swing, or maybe even like something like that. Yep. ES has been following along at 830 up, 830 up. What prices are we near right now? We're at 333 on the NQ, so we're in between 3 and 400. 19, we got out of the 18Ks, right? So 18Ks are down here somewhere and back that way. We're out of the 18Ks, back into the 19Ks. In the low 19Ks, though. Three minutes are up, but if you see, you know, how tight this cloud got here because it's moving so violently, normally not a good thing. So we're also going sideways right now. Makes me start to think we're going to be waiting once the market opens, but not necessarily. We'll see. Look at some other charts. Longer term chart is up. Shorter term is up for a long time. These are always, you know, kind of mixed, but the clouds are up. Both clouds are up, and this is interesting. You can see the NQ kind of went straight up, and the line down here, the faster oscillator, stayed up, stayed that blue cyan color. On the ES, it had a couple changes, right, as it was moving up. Not saying that means anything, but it's very interesting. We're also above the 50 level on both of them, which you could just look at the bars on the Renko and say, yeah, that makes sense. We are definitely overextended when you get to 21 bars in a row. And that was after 5 bars up, 2 bars down. So that's really 26 bars. Minus the 2 bars, you could just call it 24 bars straight up. On a 40/80, which is 10 point for each body of the bar in the direction of the prior bar. On the blue, there was this setup from right here. I believe everything was blue. And then the 40 range turned red and then turned blue, and there would have been a long right here. I didn't take it. It was right near the news, plus I wasn't at my chart. I coded something today. Based off of this right here. Let me see if I can find a chart. is a closed thread from a long time ago. Find an image here. Here, Professor Logic. Let's see if he has any other threads or posts. There's images somewhere. They're going up soon, I believe. Let's find that image here, or at least one of them. I kept running into him nonstop earlier. I don't know what's going on now. Oh, this was the wrong thread. That's I guess he deleted his profile. Let's see here. Yeah, this is it. They had 100 and some. So this oscillator down here, which is like the E or G or something. I never know how to pronounce it. But in any case, there were some NinjaTrader codes blown out there, different calculation types. And so what we did is we just created it in NinjaTrader 8. I don't know how to trade the system yet, but this is my initial thought. And this would only work if you want to trade a certain way. With add-ins specifically. On a larger account, right? So I'm thinking is you want for longs this longer term line to be below the histogram. For shorts, you want it to be above the histogram. And you want it to be colored in the direction of the trend. So if it's reds here, right? So we'll just go to reds. We want it to sell. And so this line is above the histogram. And then what we want is we want the histogram to be below 0. And then we want to wait for a green to a red change. So like right here, right? So green, red change right there. You get short, I would add in, and then I would take my profit. That's the thought behind that one. I know that's not how they traded it or he traded it or suggested to trade it or even the time frames he looked at it on, but that's my initial thought. About 5 minutes until the open. Two and a half-ish minutes. All right, let's get set back up here. I had to run out real fast. All right, we're open. Let's see, what do we do? Grind up a little bit. The NQ moves up. You might get a long scenario. We'll see though. I need to break these stops on the NQ nicely, and it looks like it is. Maybe that was just a little fake out. Let's see it pop back up and continue on. I don't really have any strong feelings on this market right now, other than, we were completely overextended right before the start of the market with two bank holidays. Same bank holiday, just two countries. A new 5-minute bar in about 20 seconds. Little quick scalp there on the 30-second. They're just moving sideways after that big move up. What was our next news event? Pretty much nothing. At the 40 range just looks terrible for price action. Up long on the MNQ on my Bulenox account at 58.25. Had a 40 tick profit target hit, a 60 tick profit target hit, and a 80. So a 10, 15, and 20 point. 3 contracts on that, which is, you know, a good move, but it's 3 NQs, which is only about $85. But we'll take it. Let's see if there's a turning back up. Starting to turn up. We might, if it closes up, potentially could get a long situation there. Or maybe even down. Like that. Oh, that triangle is going to disappear if it closes down, so we won't take that. And if the ES closes down, it's going to switch. You can see the whole bunch of changes right here. Not necessarily a good sign, but if it were to close back up and we get an arrow up, it may indicate some nice strength coming into the market that maybe could lift us above 400. Pretty much everything else looks quiet on the other charts. Like the ES might close down, which is going to change to a downtrend. So I will take that buy close up off. Let's look at what the 3 minutes are doing on the NQ and the ES. So there's the ES and the NQ right next to each other. See the NQ is trying harder than the ES going up right now. Although down here, everything looks the same. I need this to turn back up, and then I can potentially take a trade on the right-hand side. Didn't like any of the trades on the ES this morning just based on how we moved right before it. I mean, the move stopped at 850-ish and then didn't do anything, so the trade would have been right around here on the ES if I were to take it this morning. No setups here. Everything's just an uptrend. Everything's just kind of an uptrend going sideways. The NQ turns down, I would trade that going down. This is a lot of space to potentially make up. And you could even draw it to here if you wanted to because of that little pullback. And if we even want to get a little bit tighter, if it gets into that 0 to 100 level here, I mean, it could literally just retrace back to 174. Not a lot of volume there. That's why it could just kind of flow right through there. And you don't need a volume tool to see that. I mean, it's kind of just like a duh scenario in that there wouldn't be a lot of volume to move that distance in that amount of time. So if this closes up and there is a triangle here, my sells will be invalidated until I get a change in trend again. You see the ES is kind of pushing down. It's highly doubtful that this triangle would turn to a down signal on this bar. There's a lot of like weird just choppiness kind of like right in this area here. That's kind of where we're running into with the ES. Sometimes we flow through there quickly, sometimes we don't. If this changes to the upside, I might take that if I'm watching that chart. Like this oscillator needs to just keep going back down and then needs to switch up, so probably a couple bars. But I haven't got a good sense of how quickly we can turn on this one. Break even move. Break even, stop out. It went up to 5 points and we went to break even plus 3. Go back over here. I would like to see this turn up, both the ES and the NQ. I would love to get long. In at 4 minutes 50 seconds, we might have another setup depending what the market does. That will be off the 5-minute bar on the NQ. Yes, looks like it may be finally starting to align with the NQ. It's nice that it looks like it's trying to get out of this like death zone in between these two, but you know, a big move up like this with that gap right there and then 2 engulfing bars down is not normally the best price action. And then near this high here on the NQ, it's mainly wicked, right? So wick, wick, wick. That's not a good sign. So we want to close above these wicks to see some strength. This is nice to see that this is going to potentially turn up if we close up. I would have stayed in that. I could have got my 10 points, but that's okay. This left chart hasn't pulled back far enough to trade. The N or the ES, I would like to see a close above 33.50 to see some strength. This is set up earlier along right around 48.50. Unfortunately, it just happened too fast. I didn't see it. We're kind of like in the topper half of the 5-minute opening range right now on the NQ. Yes, looks like it's trying to turn down a little bit harder than the NQ. The 3-minute ES is down, the 3-minute NQ is up. And in relation to that like super trend, they're not following each other. We don't like that. We still have plenty of time. I mean, this has to go up at least 1-2 more bars. So, and then this has to change back up. So we have time for things to align. Because this triangle happened and the ES was not an uptrend, I need to wait for a lime. This looks like bad purchase section here. Every time it comes up to this like 30-ish level here, this area here, it's giving me crazy bars. Still, I would consider divergence between the ES and the NQ right now. This is one of those situations where you don't know if the ES is going to follow the NQ or the NQ is going to follow the ES. If the ES follows the NQ, we're going to look for a long off the lime if the ES turns up. If the NQ follows the ES, we're going to look to get short at 285. So everything's generally up, just chopping sideways. All right, we have a close up on the ES right here. I'm waiting to see if we can get a lime green here, and if we do, I will take that long. There's a very aggressive long at 12.25 on the NQ. Mainly it's aggressive because there's pretty much no real volatility, lack of volume in the market right now. Clouds are all up, all blue. So if this closes up, we may get that. Actually, it's on a 5th bar, so we can't take it. So this would be the 5th consecutive bar up, and I'm not going to take a trade looking for 20 points on the NQ after those 5 straight bars up, in addition to a lack of volatility in the market right now, on top of a lack of participants due to the bank holidays. So today may be one of those days where we don't really have much happen. I had 2 trades on the Bulenox, 1 break even plus on the Q for $29, and then an MNQ trade for $85. So we're at 114 and 94 cents right now. Will not, so nothing great, but nothing bad at the same time. Kind of want this to close down and then resume the uptrend back up so I can hopefully get that lime triangle. This idea that I was talking about earlier, that trade would have been right here today on this one. Right here. Around 63.50. I didn't take it, but that's where that idea would have set up today. Really wish that bar would close down. I don't think that's going to happen. ES is still, I mean, it's not really going anywhere. It's not as diverging. Let me bring over a 3-minute. Right, so the NQ is making new highs, and we're just kind of in a box here right now. So maybe this was like a nice little fake out for moving average traders, and maybe we're gonna resume the trend up. I don't know. There's a wait and see situation again. Or if you just take a bet, like, hey, the ES is gonna follow the NQ today. Maybe. I don't know. I don't like taking those kind of bets though. I'd rather take no bets at all than take a silly one like that. If you had gotten long at 12.25, you should be out of that with either break even or plus 10 points. Again, I think that was an aggressive trade just because of the type of day. No high impact news. Bank holidays equals less participants, less volume, normally lower volatility, which we are seeing. Which leads to more careful trades. If you were a range trader, you would have made a lot of money today. Let's see if this does enough to pull the ES along with it. Like the ES is just like, when it goes up, this is the only bar that had any sort of conviction right here. Maybe this one is now our one with conviction, but still, we need to break above all these wicks. If we redid this, I think a lot of people would look at something like that as, you know, an area of interest on the ES. Be more because of that there. NQ is still, making new highs, but this ES is just like, it doesn't want to. Need to close above 39.50 on the ES. Yeah. Came to 39.25, couldn't close above 39.50. Let's see if we can pick up a little steam here. It's got a new 3-minute bar on it. Last time we were in this area, it just flew through it. And 500, yeah, okay. The NQ flew down through that area we're going up into right now. And then that was that day where it really sucked trading around that 500 unless you caught that really big down move. Maybe the ES is going now. We didn't close above 39.50 yet, but if this moves up one tick, we will. How crazy is this market right now? I've gotten myself into a lot of trouble over the years of when the market's bad, sticking around too long, and just taking bad setups. So I want to see if anything happens at 10 o'clock, and if it doesn't, I'm walking away for the day, and I'll be back tomorrow. So we finally closed above 39.50 on the ES. It was a tough close above. So we had 13 bars up on that last move on the NQ, but it started with 5 bars up, 1 bar down, 5 bars up, 2 bars down, 13 bars up. So 23 bars up and 3 bars down. this closes up and stays red, that would ruin my signal to the downside, but it could continue up and switch up quickly. So interested to see what it does on this bar. Although I am leery of this 500 up here. I zoom this thing out. It just looks bad, doesn't it? That. The new 5-minute bar in about 1 minute. If this first red bar didn't have any triangles on it, I could take a down signal, but kind of ruins it. But kind of, I mean, it completely ruins the setup. Yes, and the NQ look like they're moving together now. Absolutely look like they're moving in unison. Right, well, nothing to write home about today. I think we made the good decisions of not taking any of those maybe setups. We are at 12 straight bars down on my smaller Renko on the NQ right now. And you can see right here, just straight down from the ES. This is not good price action, again, for everything I've said repeatedly. So I think we made all the right decisions of not trading, and we are going to prevent the devil inside of us from changing that. And so we are going to be logging off, hopping back on tomorrow with a fresh brain, hopefully making the same good decisions. And with that, I hope you had a great trading day, and I will be back tomorrow.